Colonel, gotta start the bomb. Afghanistan. Okay, hello and welcome to episode 22 of my Hunter x Hunter reactions. I just did what might be my longest recording for a Hunter x Hunter episode ever. The recording itself was just over an hour long. I'll have to cut it down, probably end up around like 40 minutes-ish maybe. Yeah, last episode was really fun, gave me a lot of stuff to talk about, and it seems as though we're going to be moving into the next arc now. Either that or maybe just the final section of this arc, but it definitely feels like something new. Like the tournament is over, we had our little climactic battles, and now we're kind of moving to something a bit different, but I don't know, we'll have to see, I guess, because I'm not really sure, but it seems like we're moving into something a little bit different now, you know, and this is exciting because this is our first time going out into the world, you know. Up until now it's all been within the Hunter examination, which is fun, but it's all in a nice controlled environment, you know. It'll be fun to actually go out into the world now and see what it has in store for us, you know. I'm very interested to see all that stuff, because I don't know what direction this show is going to take, you know. Okay, they're hunters, but what now, you know? With a lot of shows, you have kind of like a direct idea of exactly what's going to happen. Okay, in Dragon Ball, they're going to train and they're going to compete in the martial arts tournament. Okay, that one's over. Okay, now they're going to train and compete in the next martial arts tournament. Like, you kind of know the direction the story is going to go in. You know, with Attack on Titan, they're wanting to go out of the walls and all that stuff. But in this show, yes, Gon wants to find his dad, but that could mean anything, you know. That's a very nebulous, vague idea. Finding his dad could result in a whole slew of things, you know. It's not a specific task with a specific location and a specific method, you know. It's almost like a vague concept to find his dad. That could, you know, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. So yeah, I feel like right now this story, I was about to say is directionless, but I'm not going to say that because that's a kind of a negative word. But it's more like it's very open. There's a lot of possibilities that we could go into right now, and I'm very, very excited to see which direction the story takes us in now. You know, we're going to do the whole Killua thing, obviously, but after that, God knows what's going to be next. God knows what's going to be next. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so that was episode 22, and yeah, we're slowly making our way to the Zoldike, I think it was. I think the first time I saw it, I thought it was Zylok or something, but no, it seems like it's Zoldike. Zoldik? I don't know. Killua Zoldike, I guess is his name. I don't know. It's so I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, it's interesting how it's like they're so well known. It's like they're a tourist attraction, you know, to the extent that there are people who try to break in because they don't even believe the family exists. They're like literally living legends in the most literal way of meaning that. They are quite literally living legends. And a huge tourist attraction, it seems. It seems very unlikely that there just happens to be a big storm cloud over that mountain for ominous effect, so I have to assume that that's something, maybe some form of magic protection that the family has over their house, because it said that no one's ever actually found the house, right? So maybe it's being hidden by the storm or something, you know. Someone said, I can't remember who it was who, it was mentioned that the house was at the very top of the mountain. So I guess it would be hidden above the storm. Like, you have to go through the storm and literally weather the storm, and then you get through to the top level, right? I guess that makes sense. But yeah, it seems as though Killua's appearance, it's very fitting, because I mentioned this earlier on in the episode reaction, but he is quite literally a blank slate, right? Not literally in terms of he has no personality, but I mean in the sense that in his appearance, right, he's like a blank canvas. Completely white hair, pale skin, mostly white clothing, unless I'm misremembering. I think it was like white and purple, I can't remember exactly. But his theme is white, obviously, right? That's kind of his colour scheme. And it's very fitting because he's like a blank canvas, right? And the whole thing with him is you've got his family trying to mould him into their image, and you've got Gon trying to pull him back. So Killua is like this blank slate who could go either way, and you've got these two people trying to pull him in their direction to mold him into what they think he should be. So you've got the family trying to mold him into this assassin, you've got Gon trying to mold him into a free person who can do whatever the hell he wants with his life, right? It's very fitting. I like it. It's a fitting character design. I like it a lot. But yeah, it's so brutal that those two guys just go in there and just get eaten, just like flesh ripped from bone, and then their bones just get thrown in the trash can. Like, oh my god, that is... It's like I said, imagine you live your entire... Like those people have parents and siblings and dreams and maybe boyfriends and girlfriends and stuff, you know? Like, their entire life led up to having their fucking bones thrown into a trash can, you know? Like, it seems so routine. Like, he didn't have any reaction, he just threw him in the bin, you know? It's so routine for him at this point almost. But I really like that system that they have in place where you are allowed to enter if you are strong enough to open the gate, right? Like, you have to be worthy to enter. And they created this other door basically as a way for thieves to be as a way for intruders to be identified, right? Because they would try to steal the key and get in that way, and then that identifies them as an intruder, right? And then they get eaten and their bones get thrown in the bin, right? Classic form. We should do that in museums and stuff. Just have a little bone bin to throw, painting robbers and stuff in there. And yeah, Killua. It said that Killua was able to open 16 tons when he came back. Three of the doors, the 3 levels of... I wonder how that works. How does that... Now that I think about it, I have no idea what the like mechanics of that door would be. That the more force you exert, the less the doors open. Like, the smaller doors, you have to push them lightly. Not lightly, but you have to push them lighter in order to open them. The harder you push, the larger the door opens. That doesn't... I'm not sure how that works. That's... Because think of it this way. Let's say you need to exert 2 tons of force to open the first door. I can't remember what the exact number is, but we'll say 2 tons. That's probably accurate. If 2 tons of force is required to open that door, but you use 16 tons of force to open the 3 doors, then how is that force not enough to also open the first door, right? Like, I don't... It's weird. It's a weird system. I'm not sure how that all works, but whatever. It's just anime stuff. I don't need to think about it. Just whatever. It works because it's an anime, and I'll just trust that it works. But it makes sense. It's frustrating that they won't just let him see Killua, but it does make sense. They're an extremely well-known family of assassins. They're going to have lots of enemies, lots of people who want them dead, and we've already seen that there's ways to change your appearance and your voice and all that stuff, so it does make sense. And even if he's not changing his appearance, it's like the butler said, there's no ruling out that he became friends with Killua because he wants to do something bad, right? So, as annoying as it is as a viewer to be like, oh no, I want him to be able to see Killua now, but, in world it does make sense. I'm not just going to let someone in like that, right? Especially in a world like this where you've got all this, like, crazy magic stuff, being able to change your voice and appearance and all that kind of stuff is possible. So it makes perfect sense, honestly. They mentioned 10 family members of the Zoldyck family. It was like great-grandfather, grandfather, dad, mum. It was like great-grandfather, great-grandfather, grandfather, grandmother, father, mother, and then 5 children, or something like that. So we already know Killua and his brother, and there's 3 other siblings. 2 episodes ago, when Illumi was talking to Killua, he specifically said, when me and father trained you. So that implies that the other 3 siblings might not have been involved with the training, unless he was just saying that. No, it's easier than saying, when me and my 3 brothers and our father. Like, I guess it's just less cumbersome to just say me and father, I suppose. But I wonder if only Illumi and the dad trained Killua, or if that was just what he happened to say at that point in time. I don't know. I don't actually have a lot to say about this episode, honestly. Last episode I covered a lot of the speculation and all that stuff. Like a lot of the stuff that I can talk about, I already talked about last episode, and most of the stuff talked about this episode is fairly self-explanatory, you know. So I wonder what other defenses they have, because they have Mike, who is kind of fucking really creepy. They have Mike, they have the testing gate, and they still have this huge journey they have to make before they get to the mountain. And even then, they have to actually find the house, right? Like, even if you reach the mountain, there's no guarantee that the house will just be somewhat easy to spot, right? It could be hidden with some ancient runic magic for all we know. So I wonder, how long is this guard going to stay with us? Is he going to stay with us for the entire journey, or is he just going to walk into a certain point and say, oh, good luck, and then head on home? That could happen, I suppose. And then there's Gon's character. Gon is so determined. He is so invested in Killua. It's honestly like super sweet, you know, that he cares so much about his friend. A friend he only met a few days ago, right? Like, yes, they've gone through a lot. They've gone through a lot. And it's possible this is like the first true friend that Gon has ever had, you know. It doesn't really look like he knew anyone else his own age on an island, right? So, but like still, he's only known him for a few days and he's willing literally to be eaten and turned into bones and thrown in a bin to just speak to his friend, right? Like, he is so dedicated. And I like that he refused to go through the testing door. It's entirely possible that he had the strength to open the testing door. I mean, I kind of doubt it, right? I mean, I was about to say he looks too small, but Killua was able to open it, right? It's best to assume that Killua is probably much stronger than Gon. Just in every regard, he's probably just on a completely different level to Gon. But still, though, I wonder if Gon would be able to open at least the smallest door. But he doesn't want to because he feels he's Gon's friend. He doesn't need to pass some test to be able to speak to his friend, right? Which makes sense. I absolutely love Gon's determination this episode. It's so endearing, right? Just to see how just ridiculously determined he is to speak to Killua no matter what, right? He's going to go through all this stuff, you know? Oh, man. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Gon's character was great this episode. It was a great showcase of his character. A great little look into the Zoldyck family and just how insanely seriously they take their protection, to the point where people dying at the front gate is like a fucking routine thing that the guard doesn't even blink an eye at it anymore. But yeah, I think that's everything I had to say about this episode, because like I said, I covered most of the conversation topics I can think of already in the last episode. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there for now. My voice is actually starting to get pretty sore, so I think I'm gonna leave it today and start watching the next episodes tomorrow. I only got to watch 2 episodes today, but that's because my discussion for the last episode took so long. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe if you want to make sure you're up to date with all the episodes, because I don't think I have a schedule at this point, most likely. At least not one that's set in stone. So you'll want to subscribe and hit that bell if you want to make sure you're up to date with all the episodes and stuff. Share the video around. It's super important that you share the video if you really want to help me grow as a channel. You know, show it to your friends, share it on social media, all that good stuff. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.